I don't know how I've been coaching for 15 years and I haven't made a video like this, but I'm going to try to make a video in 5 minutes that is going to explain to you the essentials of what you need to know to calculate your macros, to help figure out what you need to do, to figure out where you need to go in your weight loss journey, and kind of eliminate all the puff and the extra, okay? Because a lot of people say a lot of different things, and there's one thing that pretty consistently will work for everybody. All right, so how we're going to calculate our calories with a Mifflin St. Gyr calculator. You can literally just Google that and it will ask for your height, your age, your current weight, and your sex, male, female. You will input that and it will spit out a maintenance calories. Let's just say, for the sake of today, you get something that's around 2,200 calories. Okay. Calories are basically your body's energy. And as you know or don't know, that needs to be in a deficit. Why? You need to find your calories because this is how you kind of establish your daily goals. When I coach people, I make a comparison between a kind of like a financial plan or making a budget sheet, daily budget. The same can be said for your calories. If you know how much to spend, our goal is to end up each day with a little bit of savings for the future. And that will inevitably get us to our goal. It's not going to be quick. Everyone always searches quick. Quick isn't sustainable. We want something that is sustainable for the long run, where we enjoy the journey, and it's not terribly overwhelming for us. So what you're going to do once you have this number is the most important things kind of really to calculate aren't carbs, aren't fats. It's going to be your protein intake and maybe making sure that you get enough fiber, and then not going over on those calories. So when we have this number, the first thing we want to do, myself, I weigh 220 pounds. And if we're going to change that to kilograms, we're going to divide that by 2.2, which is going to give us 100 kilograms. We need to convert to this because this is how we're going to figure out our protein needs. So essentially, somebody who does not exercise at all, you'd be 0.8 kilograms per 8, sorry, grams of protein. We're talking protein here per 1 kilogram of body weight. Okay. Now, if you want to build muscle mass while you're dieting and lose less lean body mass as you're dieting, we can go upwards of 2 grams per 1 kilogram body weight. So anywhere from 80 to 200 grams of protein. So we're essentially just multiplying this by this. And it can be anything in between. This can be for you to decide. I think in a point why protein is so important, and what I'm going to show you is all foods have a different thermogenic effect of food. So it doesn't take a lot of energy to actually metabolize carbs or fats. Our body is pretty efficient at those things. Proteins are comprised of a bunch of amino acids. That process is a little more complicated for the body. So we can have a 20 to 30% energy expenditure just to break down our calories from protein. So let's say I'm a bodybuilder and I'm doing the 2 grams per kilogram. That means I'm doing 200 grams of protein per day times 4 is going to give me 800 calories are coming from protein. But 20 to 30% of that, just to make math easy for me, 160 to 240 of those calories are essentially being used up in the process of metabolizing that protein. And when you create a deficit, or we're investing, like this here, that's money saved. That's money invested. That is towards your future, right? And that's going to progress you. Another quick tip that's going to be really important for us is for every 1,000 calories we consume, we want about 15 grams of fiber. All right. So honestly, like, I wouldn't even say you have to Google. You could just literally, and this is what is awesome about AI now, guys. You can go use the Sangier Mifflin and then enter your body weight, height, age, sex, so it knows, and say I need to hit 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram and 15 grams of fiber. Make me a diet plan that's 4 meals a day that fulfills these needs, and it will spit it out in like 2 seconds. And then if you see meal 2, it has tuna and you don't like fish, you can literally type in rewrite this but change meal 2, no tuna. Like 30 seconds, right? So your remaining calories, let's just do this out really quick. You have 1,400 calories remaining, and that can be split between your carbs and fat. Generally, if I write a diet plan, we're about 30% protein, 40 to 50 carb, and or 20 to 30 fats, right? I like to keep everything balanced. I don't think doing anything super extreme has any really big advantages. I think the problem for a lot of people that I don't want to say don't understand, but I think if you choose keto as your diet of choice, there's going to be a day where you're really hungry, and it's very easy to overeat on fat calories versus carb calories. I would just say as long as those carb calories aren't sugar and they're things like fruit with a lot of skin, berries, that's going to have higher fiber, or sweet potatoes or whole grains. There are certain carbs. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but there are certain carb sources that don't spike our blood glucose as high. And you are going to be well on your way to reaching your goals, okay? Because from here, you would essentially then, after a week, kind of check base with yourself. Hey, do I feel hungry, or am I eating to, deal with an emotional need, or do I even recognize that I'm like grazing throughout the day? Like, they're just questions you ask yourself, not things to beat yourself up over. But this is going to be the most sustainable. I put 1 on here just because you can also kind of establish when you will reach your goal. So roughly a healthy rate of weight loss is going to be 1 to 2 pounds per week of weight loss. Okay. And anything lower than 1, right? And if you have a lot of weight to lose, this can definitely be higher initially. But remember, there is a difference between fat loss and weight loss. And we can lose a lot of weight in 1 day. If you don't drink any water whatsoever and we completely dehydrate you, most of your cells hold water. If you eat carbohydrates, there's 2 parts to that word: carb, hydrate. Each gram of carbs holds on to 4 grams of water. So when you eat carbs, your body holds on to water. And we want water for performance, for thermal regulation, to help carry nutrients around the body, right? So it's re-regulating, rebalancing our diet to something that is maintainable. But fat loss, this is what we want, and we want to do this without losing lean body mass. So that's one benefit of keeping that protein high. The other benefit is, again, it's going to take energy to metabolize that extra protein. And then with that, we are also helping synthesize or build new muscle tissue, which, think of muscle tissue as something like a motor, right? And right now you're running on 6 cylinders, but if you put on 20 pounds of muscle, now you're an 8-cylinder car. You're burning more fuel, just doing nothing. Like, naturally, this number, if I had more muscle mass, could be 2,300. So it can change. And maybe sometimes when people say, oh, my metabolism slowed down, maybe you just lost muscle mass. And if you were active again and you rebuilt that muscle mass, you could get that number up. Now, I don't want to go too far any direction in the weeds, but I would love to answer any further questions you guys have in the comments. And if you want me to go deeper in a topic in another video, let me know. I'll make that video, and if you want it, I'll tag you in that video for sure. My name's Gordon. I'm the owner of St. Ron Training, and this is quick, simple, what you need to do to